Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is doing good. We are diving into day 2 of the Senior Bowl, and it is players to watch, running backs. Which running backs do we want to watch in this Senior Bowl? There isn't a lot of top-end talent in this, NFL draft class for running backs, but there are quality secondary pieces, some guys that can carve out some roles for them as they get into the NFL. And I got a good list of 6 players of these running backs that could actually make waves and turn some heads as we get closer to the NFL draft, man. We're talking Imani Bailey, TCU product, Ray Davis from Kentucky, and Jalen Wright from Tennessee, and then Devonta Edwards from Georgia for the American side. There is some talent. Is it top heavy? No, but there's definitely some of these players that could have secondary roles in the NFL, like I'm saying. Let's talk about a little Imani Bailey, Louisiana TCU product. And I mean, he did have his breakout campaign in 2023 with TCU. Waited his time. He is 5'7", 208. Stout frame for his size. Little bit of a muscle hamster. We got a couple of these guys in this Senior Bowl right now. And I think, this is what I'm talking about. They're going to carve out secondary pieces, secondary roles for their game. 42 games. He had 2,000 plus yards, 5.9 on the average, 18 rushing touchdowns, added more in the receiving game. 47 for 380 and 1 touchdown, man. He's got good speed. Is it elite wheels? No, but it is good enough, man. Accelerators over burst, and that's kind of what you're seeing from this crop here at the Senior Bowl. Not much of the burst, very quick right out the gates, being shot out of a cannon. More couple steps, and then the accelerators do kick in. He does have power on contact, which is very impressive, but like I'm saying, man, a little bit of a muscle hamster, 5'7", 208, definitely power on contact. He does have good break tackle, which was impressive of his game, no kidding. Very good jump cuts, side steps, especially when he's trying to evade the tacklers in the open field, when he's coming out of the backfield, when he's taking the ball outside. Definitely does have that part of his game as well. Very good cutback agility. This man will find the cutback lanes, and he will try to explode through those holes as he does find them. He is a creator on the fly as well. When, blocking did start to, negate, he is one of these guys you could definitely, probably lean upon on your third down carries as well, short yardage, and hope for the best in that sense. But I'm saying, breakout season. Breakout season this past year with TCU, and I think he's a good talent. I'm looking for him to showcase his talents here at the Senior Bowl. That much more to lift up his stock. Ray Davis, next one on my board, Temple, Vanderbilt, Kentucky. This man has seen some travel, been around the league in college football. Yet another muscle hamster, man. 5'8", 228. He is a little bit of a shorter tank frame if we're talking about running backs in this stature. 44 games. His stat line's pretty good, man. 44 games, almost 800 carries, man. That's a lot of work for this young man. 36, 26 in yardage, 4.9 on the average, 29 touchdowns. Where it was good is that his hands are good, and he is utilized in the receiving game. 94 for 762 and 12 touchdowns. So when you're talking about a running back who does have some abilities in that tank-style frame, and he's able to catch passes, he does turn my eye. I didn't think I was going to like his tape as much as I did, and I truly did like his tape, man. Very good vision in between the tackles, trying to find the off-tackle gaps. He does find that very well. Very strong plant step in this man as well. It is decisive, man. When he plants, he's turning the direction that he wants to go, and he's going to make things happen. He has deceptive long speed, okay? You don't think he's going to get that giddy up, and once he starts going into the open field, he starts to take off. It's not breakaway wheels like we want to say, like a Travis Etienne style, but he's got some giddy up and deceptive long speed for sure. I would classify him more as that, power back more than a speed back in this sense. I mean, change of direction, also very fluid. Like I'm saying, goes with those, good cutback lanes as well for him. Side steps are very nice behind the line of scrimmage, and he is that receiving back that we are looking for. So Ray Davis definitely impressed me on the film. Looking for him to, make some waves here at the Senior Bowl, and hopefully he can uplift his draft stock, because he is definitely one of these guys I'm absolutely looking for to do some damage, man. Next one we got is Jalen Reagor, Tennessee product. And I wasn't as impressed, I won't lie, man. I was hoping for a lot more when it came from his film. He is 5'11", 200 pounds. A lot of people, gushing over him Senior Bowl already as we get early into the draft process. He didn't weigh in, so I'm not even sure if he's actually going to be playing on Saturday. So we definitely got to see that. So 5'11", 200 is not confirmed by the Senior Bowl. but I'm talking, okay, statistically speaking, he doesn't have a great stat line, but I mean, 34 contests, 368, 2297, nice 6.2 on the average. That's why a lot of people are, starting to feel him a little bit, because 6.2 is nice when you're talking college football productivity. 18 rushing touchdowns. He does have a good frame. He is a, taller type of running back, but the frame is good. I mean, at 200 pounds, he's no slouch, man. He can make some plays. Speed is just okay. I'm saying with this, basically on the speed categories, there isn't a lot to get overly excited about from these running backs when it comes to the speed game, but its speed is okay. It's not great, man. Excuse me, he does have a lot of long speed as well. Once he gets into the open field, there is opportunity where he can take it to the house or make a 20 to 30-yard run. There is potential in this as well, but it's going to be far and few between. I don't foresee him breaking tackles and then taking it to the house. Stop-start speed is definitely not here for me to suggest that it's one of these guys you can trust after contact, to take it to the house. He still has a lot of talent, some that we can get excited about. Very good patience behind the line of scrimmage to find those holes. I think that was one of the better aspects of his game. He does wait for his blockers to set up, and then he will find the gap, he will find the hole, and he will make things happen. But like I said, it's not great on the elite trends of these running backs, but he does get skinny in between the tackles. For a guy who's 5'11", 200 is very impressive. Once he's going through the A gaps, I'm telling y'all, you don't even see where he goes. Very much gets skinny, and then he's able to make waves in between the line and take a lot of yardage in that sense, man. Very good body balance on point of contact. That is an impressive part of his game as well. He does get hit, and I mean, it's not like he's getting punished because he can absorb the punishment, but he does bounce off and he does create yards. Always, I don't want to say always, but more often than not, he is falling forward, and that's what you do like about your running backs also. He can make some noise. He will be able to at least, move forward the chains if you require them. He does have that ability. Nice spin moves, some athletic ability you wanted to see as well. Again, once on point of contact, he's trying to make some move, some play. Hurdles we've seen, spin moves we've seen. Not so much on the cuts. I didn't really see it as much to be overly impressed on his cut ability, but he will absorb contact and he will continue to try to move down the field. Very tough to tackle. You try to shoestring tackle Jalen Wright, you're not tackling this man. He will definitely get out of those with ease, and then you got to put some bodies on him, but he does have some ability. Perhaps there just wasn't enough of a sample size for me to get overly excited about, but his tape definitely showcases the fact that he is a decent running back that we do have to keep an eye on here at the Senior Bowl. Devonta Edwards, I'm probably saying his first name wrong, 5'9", 202. So again, we're talking about the similar type of stature characteristics for a lot of these running backs, under the 5'10 mark, over 200 pounds, and the frames are very much in, the good category. They're put together, they can take some punishment, and they can actually run with the football. It is very good. When you see a guy who's this size, you see him under like the 200 pounds. This is very much not superly muscular, but they got a good frame to them. 51 games, and then another thing with the Georgia running backs, we've been spoiled over the years with these UGA running backs, and I think this is probably one of the worst crops of running backs we've seen come from Georgia in quite some time. I mean, we know the Nick Chubbs, the James Cooks. We know all these Georgia running backs that come out of here, Todd Gurley, et cetera, et cetera. This is not that type of class when they talk about these Georgia Bulldog running backs. So 51 games on the stat line because he showed up in these games. Didn't mean that he played in every single one of them. But, I mean, 391 carries for 2,000 yards, 5.3 on the average, and 24 rushing touchdowns. His last season here, even though the Bulldogs were kicked out of the college football playoffs, we're talking playoffs. I mean, okay, he still was a good running back. He's got a good solid frame. He is a strong runner, okay? And I like that about his game. You can lean upon him with volume touches, and I think that's going to be part of his game as well. Is he a field burner? Heck no. He's not going to be that guy as well. Speed is just okay for me, but he does have a nose for the end zone also. He can find his way to getting third down conversions. He can chain move all the chains you want to attempt to move when you're running the football with him. He does that very good. He does have some good truck into him, you won't lie. If someone does initiate contact, point of contact, he can bull you over as well, but I've also seen the aspect where he is an easy takedown, so there is, a little bit of hit and miss when it comes to that as well, but you did see some good trucking ability in an Edwards, there is no kidding. Very good behind the line juke, man. It was very impressive. You didn't expect it to come out of this man the way he runs in the open field, but he does make people miss behind the line of scrimmage, which is a big positive. There is decent decent athletic ability. We saw the hurdles in this man as well. We saw the spin moves in this one, in this man as well. Change of direction in the open field. There is, decently good athletic ability. It's just not going to wow you when you watch his film whatsoever. And then his hands are definitely reliable. Are they great? 37 receptions. He was utilized in the pass game on the screens, on the checkdowns, and the safety blanket throws. He's a decent running back. Is he a great running back? I don't really know at this point. I will dive into his film that much further as we get into the offseason. But, if he has a good Senior Bowl, he can definitely uplift his stock at this point. For the national team, we're talking Rasheen Ali from Marshall, smaller school running back, and then Marshan Lloyd from USC. We saw Dylan Laube from New Hampshire have a good day one. But, I wasn't really overly excited about his film when I broke it down. So I'm going to highlight Ali and Lloyd as we move forward. So talking Rasheen Ali from Marshall, smaller school running backs. This guy's okay. He's a decent one that you got to keep your eye on. Is the potential for him to make the NFL a lot lower? Probably. But, with a good Senior Bowl, he could definitely become, maybe a 7th round pick, undrafted rookie free agent, latch on to a roster somewhere. But, 5'11", 204, stature is definitely very good. Big body type of running back, upright runner. And, the stats don't lie, man. The tape does show that he is able to take over a lot of these contests at Marshall. 34 games, 514 in attempts, 28-31 in yards, 5.5 on the average. But the nice part of it is 39 rushing touchdowns, man. I'll jump all the way to the bottom. Nose for the end zone. This guy just knows how to score touchdowns, and it is no kidding, man. They leaned upon him with Marshall, and he did definitely repay. 75 receptions he adds to that, so he's no slouch in the pass game. Almost 600 yards, 3 touchdowns. So, like I'm saying, over 40 TDs in his collegiate career in 34 games is very good and will definitely get people to turn their eyes, man. Upright runner, like I said, definitely a interesting running style. The only thing you talk about upright runners, they do take a lot of punishment, unnecessary hits that they don't necessarily need to take. But, he does, protect himself rather well. He is also a powerful runner, doesn't necessarily have the great elite wheels either. But, the powerful running ability, if you're looking for it, it's not necessarily a bulldozer either, but I think he is more of, he's got straight power. He's going to be able to at least take and absorb contact as well and try to get more yardage. Very good one cut. It wasn't fantastic, but it's there. It's more than enough to make people miss, evade would-be tacklers. He is also a patient hole hitter. He will wait for those gaps and those holes to open up, and he will make noise once he is in the open field. Good slip tackles. He's a very difficult man to take down as well. Like I was talking about Jalen Wright, Rasheen Ali is definitely one of these guys in that category as well. Very tough to take down with these slip tackles. And like I'm saying, man, nose for the end zone. You got to find running backs that can score touchdowns and tutties. So, he's definitely one that could make a name for himself with a very good Senior Bowl. Last one we got is Marshan Lloyd, South Carolina product and USC transfer. Okay, 5'9", 217. You see what I'm talking about? Very similar statures in all these gentlemen right now, man. 32 games, 291, 16-21. Not a lot of tread on these tires, man. He does have a lot left in this tank for sure. 5.6 on the average, 19 rushing touchdowns is utilized in this pass game. 34 for almost 500 and 2 tutties. I do like his Gamecock tape better than I did at USC, and I think that he looked leaner. He looked a little bit more, explosive at South Carolina than he did at USC. Put on a little bit more weight, looked more stout. He was a little bit more punishing, but he does have a stout frame if we're looking at him today from USC. He's got the 3-step acceleration. No burst really for me to get excited about, but he does have enough when he does get into the open field, few steps, and then the accelerators do kick in, and he's able to go around would-be tacklers. So that is a positive in that respect as well. He does have build-up speed. I'll give him that. So once he gets going in the open field, he is, this little tank moving down the field and moving chunk yards. So there is that positive in that sense as well. Very good stiff arm in this man. Tough to bring down. He will challenge all these tacklers with that stiff arm, try to get around him. And, it's a very good stiff arm when you're talking about it in that sense, man. Good avoid tackle in this man as well. So that's kind of the caveat you see in all these running backs that I'm talking about right now. They don't have this elite wheels, but they understand how to break tackles and continue to move down the field. Definitely a bulldozer type goal line back. Definitely can lean upon him in that sense as well. And I think think he will do very good in that. Very good drop shoulder, man. You come at him, he's going to drop that shoulder. He's going to plant you right into the ground. That's 100% what he does. And then nice side steps behind the line of scrimmage and in the open field. He will change direction, and he will make people miss in that respect. So I think you could utilize him also in the pass game somewhat, but I mean, not overly talented to suggest that it's going to be a top-heavy running back class from this Senior Bowl. But there you have it. That is some running backs that I'm watching on day 2 of the Senior Bowl. Like I'm saying, not elite characteristics, not elite traits, but at least there is some backs that we can say they could, carve out a decent role for themselves in the NFL with a team on a specific, role that they would require. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. We got wide receivers next, man, so stay tuned for that tomorrow, but we'll see you next time. I am out.